There it is. He timed it right.
Counting to explode with the left. Oh, and that right, but Davis took off some of the steam of the punch, but still.
Welcome to the motherfucking lady. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, now it's time for another installment of what has fast become one of the most popular segments here on the channel, Ring IQ Hate Mail.
Fat boy, who goes by the name Fat Boy.
Reacting to the recent news that the false imprisonment charge was dropped from Gervonta Davis's ongoing legal case, Fat Boy said the case was dropped.
Oh my fucking God.
Now go make your little video, you as the YouTube lawyer claiming it's on tape and his career over a month. Later, case dismissed.
The case hasn't been dismissed, you fucking idiot.
Free Tank, he's back. I don't know if you hate him or Clarissa more.
Why would it matter to you which one of them I hate more? Why are you so hung up on what I think that you're following me on two separate social media platforms to tell me what you think about boxing? Do you want my validation?
We would have to be, because he clearly follows the YouTube channel, but apparently he's also following me on Instagram, going as far as DMing me.
He doesn't understand what happened with Gervonta Davis's ongoing legal case. He thinks the case in its entirety was dropped when it's the prosecution that dropped the false imprisonment charge because it is a redundancy, likely already covered by the kidnapping charge. Don't forget about battery. Felony kidnapping, felony battery for a guy who was already on probation. It's not hard to put together why someone would think that he might see some time out of this. Not much. As I've stated over and over, it's not capital murder, but because he was already on probation at the time of the incident and because there are still two other felony charges pending, he's really not out of the woods, making this undue celebration premature.
Somebody should have told this crack baby. I thought I already did, but he must not have understood the video. He must have just read the headline and ran with that, as so many of these mouth breathers often do. Too stupid for their own good, which wouldn't be so bad if they didn't bother the rest of us with their stupidity.
You don't even understand how fucking stupid you are. That's pretty fucking stupid.
And obsessive. These parasocial relationships that these hermits often have with these boxers that they idolize and put on a pedestal, they get so mad.
Why are you mad?
Because a complete stranger online who happens to be a content creator doesn't like all of the same boxers that you do, so go watch another one. What are you watching me for?
He's mad that I said they got it on tape. Hey, stupid. I'm not the one that said they got it on tape. The cops that arrested him are the ones that say they've got it on tape. What the fuck are you, a moron?
We've already established that he is a very disgruntled moron, a hermit who's got a parasocial relationship with Gervonta Davis, hoping that he can beat the case, hoping
he can resume his boxing career and go back to not fighting the people everybody asks him to fight.
No real boxing fan is a fan of Gervonta Davis because what draws people to boxing is not necessarily what he provides. Thus, these parasocial relationships are often formed due to latent homosexual tendencies. These guys get a look at his leg tattoos. Ew. They watch Gervonta Davis's fights for the same reason a lot of broads watch 50 Shades of Grey with a pillow tucked between their thighs. Wink, wink. Is Clown really celebrating a moral victory for what is an immoral character? An immoral person who only ever seems to get in trouble with the law for putting his hands on females?
But the same size as a fire hydrant.
He never gets in trouble with the law for anything you can respect, like maybe narcotics or a bar fight, putting his hands on a guy. All his run-ins are over putting his hands on a girl. And his supporters, needless to say, don't really like girls.
I don't really like boxing either.
Boxing is just how they came to know Gervonta Davis and the vehicle in which they watch him, but boxing ain't why they're watching. It's fine for them. Far be it for me to dictate to somebody else why they should watch the sport, though pestering me with the why is the problem.
Guy's a fruitcake.
And this is already more time than I'd like to spend talking about him.
The sphere is one of the places that they talked about. So we don't know if it's 100% going to be there, and this is not actually a fight; it's an exhibition.
Okay.
So we're gonna do it again, and hopefully we're gonna entertain the people. You know, I got an exhibition with Mike Tyson, also another exhibition in Greece. So if I'm just sitting at home and I'm just working on every day, spending time with my grandson and spending time with my children, I said, why not go out have a little fun, entertain, and put on some exhibitions. And so that's what I'm doing.
So Floyd Mayweather himself over the weekend casted an air of doubt over not only what kind of fight this Pacquiao fight is supposed to be, but where it's supposed to happen. To that, veteran boxing scribe Abraham Gonzalez said, "I don't know if Netflix knows that. I don't see them being heavily invested in an exhibition, though I could be wrong."
Unless I'm mistaken, Manny Pacquiao himself said that he was insistent that it needs to be a real fight because he wants a second crack at the apple. He wants to beat Floyd Mayweather, and unless I'm mistaken, Netflix has already officially announced this rematch, set to go down in September.
Busy month in the sport of boxing. Floyd and Manny is supposed to be coming back, Canelo's supposed to be coming back, and whatever else is happening on a smaller scale in the sport.
If it's an exhibition, that takes the air out of the tires.
Could it still be big being an exhibition happening on Netflix? It still could, because Netflix is a massive platform, and if they're making it available to all their existing subscribers, a lot of them might still watch it for any embarrassing moments they might catch.
Any snafus now that Floyd Mayweather is close to 50 years old, doing the dance again with Manny.
Even if Manny's not allowed to officially knock out Floyd because it's an exhibition, not a real fight, what says he can't knock him down? What says he can't punch him up? He's close to 50 years old. Such a hated figure by some within the boxing space that even a knockdown would be treated as a knockout. Any semblance of a moral victory for what remains of the Pacquiao faction of fans, whatever they can use against Floyd and the Flomos.
Nothing came out about Floyd's ongoing case against Stephen Espinoza, Showtime, and his former advisor, close confidant, Al Heyman. I don't expect Floyd to be fielding questions about that situation.
The one where he says they stole over $300 million of his money.
But when a man close to 50 years old is scheduling exhibitions at a greater rate than active boxers are actively boxing, the writing is on the wall. An exhibition with Mike Zimbides, another one with Mike Tyson, and another with Manny Pacquiao.
It being an exhibition hurts the marketability of the show, the marquee value. If it were a real fight, I think you could do a pretty big gate.
Even though they're both close to 50 years old, if it were a real fight, there is enough bad blood there, enough history that a lot of people, they still want to see Floyd lose.
They want to see things come full circle for Floyd, because they know that he's probably broke, which is why he's scheduling these exhibition matches at such a rate.
He's probably broke. We know he owes a lot of people money. That's a matter of public record. Like the court documents confirming who he's going after and what he's alleging, that over $300 million of his money that he earned is now gone.
For him to pop up in 2026 with not one, not two, but 3 separate exhibition matches.
At 49 years old.
Keeps telling the media he's doing it for fun, but it doesn't fool anybody. The rumors about his financial situation have been around for years, and it would seem that they finally come to a head. They would have had to if he's willing to entertain a second fight with Manny Pacquiao.
For how many years was Manny Pacquiao asking for that rematch, and for how many years did his requests fall on deaf ears? Floyd would not entertain him. Not up until
he was broke.
There is that to be addressed. Is this an exhibition or a real fight? Because according to Manny, contingent upon making it, it had to be a real fight. Whereas as far as Floyd is concerned, it's an exhibition, a bona fide case of he said, she said. Even in an exhibition, there is room for embarrassment.
You know, if it's an exhibition, I don't think Netflix is going to kick out that much money for that. Not for a waltz, not for a glorified sparring session, for a fight.
Yeah, but for an exhibition?
It has since come out that Gervonta Davis stood to make approximately $20 million for the Jake Paul exhibition that has since been called off. I would put the number they're kicking out to Floyd for an exhibition in that neighborhood, which is really not a lot, given how many people he owes money.
How he likes to spend it.
You jet set around the world with a very extensive security team. Those are all people that you have to pay. The overhead of his lavish lifestyle can only be maintained but for so long when you stop bringing in the money you used to when you were fighting.
And if this is not a fight, just an exhibition on Netflix, I mean, it was always going to be a flat number. It was never going to be the same money that he made over a decade ago with Manny, because over a decade ago, that was a pay-per-view. The ceiling was much higher for what you could earn, whereas Netflix,
it's going to be a flat number. It was always going to be a flat number. There's no upside.
That might be enough to keep him afloat for a few more years as confidant, his buddy Jonah Rechnitz. He's got to do some time now behind bars due to some other situation. Nefarious character. Al Heyman, his former confidant. I don't think they're that close anymore.
Oh, Floyd's saying he's one of the guys who stole all his money, him and Stefan Espinoza.
Whoever conducted this more recent interview doesn't seem to have broached the subject, but I expect in the build-up of the Pacquiao rematch, somebody's gonna have to. Somebody's gonna have to ask him the hard questions. Otherwise, what's the point in the media?
That's what people want to know about.
That line of questioning will be a little bit harder to avoid when Floyd Mayweather is sat on a podium in front of press row, and you can't control the narrative. You can't control what people ask you so much as your answer.
Sometimes what you choose not to talk about tells the story.
Yeah, sometimes.
But according to Floyd, it's not a fight. It's an exhibition, which takes the air out of the tires for me because that was a part of the intrigue. Was Manny catching Floyd Mayweather at the most opportune time when he at least has been fighting professionally and Floyd has been playing dancing bear for a few years now?
A loss at this point would be just as humiliating for Floyd as it would have been over a decade ago. It matters greatly to him that he remain an unbeaten fighter.
Maintaining the O was one of the more important aspects of Floyd's sales pitch and boxing career, that now at close to 50, if you've lost most of your money and your unbeaten record?
If he were to, he'd be just another broken down boxer, which is what he was trying to avoid.
Men's junior middleweight news. The people at Boxing Scene asked, did Sebastian Fundora announce himself yesterday as the #1 junior middleweight in the world?
No.
Why would beating Keith Thurman, who's had a grand total of 1 fight as a junior middleweight, not against an actual junior middleweight, against the guy who used to fight at lightweight, why would beating him, even in dominant fashion, make Sebastian the #1 guy? There are 2 other champions out there that he has to answer to. There's a guy on Twitter that goes by the name Adam the Analyst who said it best. The majority of the boxing public spent weeks forecasting a Keith Thurman masterclass, and naturally, after the stoppage, there was widespread shock.
I don't know what everybody's so shocked about, so surprised. I said it for weeks, Keith's gonna get splatted.
Adam continued, I do not engage in fight predictions, and I actively dismiss the gambling ideology that currently dictates how most people consume the sport. The obsession with predicting an outcome reduces a complex physical chess match to a casino game, completely clouded by emotion and tribalism.
Wait, you're supposed to be an analyst. If you're not analyzing these fights to accurately forecast the outcomes, because you don't do that, what are you doing?
Adam continued, if the majority stopped trying to guess the future for a payout or for fun, they might actually understand what is happening in the ring and as a result truly appreciate the sport.
I appreciate it just fine, Adam, but I, unlike you, called the outcome of that fight and the aesthetic. What's Keith gonna do, what Sebastian's gonna do, and what's gonna happen.
And why? I just don't understand how someone can claim to be an analyst of the sport but not forecast the outcomes. Then what are you analyzing? Circling back to his opening statement about Keith Thurman and how in the build-up of this weekend's fight, they must have been looking at this guy with rose-tinted lenses on, romanticizing what might happen the night of.
Waiting for a big upset to honor the memory of Keith Thurman.
As Adam described it, clouded by emotion and tribalism. I don't think that anybody that knows anything about boxing, anybody worth their weight in salt, would have picked Keith Thurman to win yesterday's fight. There was nothing to indicate.
I can't even really take credit for accurately forecasting that outcome. Wasn't hard.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Didn't need to be Eddie Futch or Burt Sugar to know what was happening yesterday, so the fact that such a sizable portion of the boxing community at large, at least on this side of the Atlantic Ocean, were actually backing Keith for a big upset, I think what it really is they wanted to be right about him.
Right about the PBC.
They know. There are guys out there just like me that don't think much of the PBC as a promotion and really don't think much of PBC fighters. Keith Thurman is the man who lost to a 40-year-old Manny Pacquiao, and that was way back there in 2019. So all of these years later, what did he do that communicated to you that he could beat an even bigger, much younger fighter at a new weight?
What did he do?
Nothing. You just don't want to admit that the PBC is an abject failure, and there's a reason they wanted to create a biosphere, a protective layer that shielded them from what else is out there. Keith Thurman being the poster child for better times at the PBC, they wanted to believe that they groomed at least one elite level fighter, since so many of the others have fallen by the wayside. Deontay Wilder, Earl Spence.
They used to use Stephen Fulton to shade Naoya Inoue, up until Inoue got his hands on him.
Too many heartbreaks, too many heartaches. They wanted to believe that at least Keith was what they made him out to be.
But he's not, and I hate to break the news to you, but neither is Sebastian.
What?
I've never denied Sebastian his plaudits, which he deserves for making the adjustments that he made, better using his height and length and employing the jab.
Never denied it.
Though how could he be the #1 junior middleweight in the world by not beating an actual junior middleweight in Keith Thurman? How would that make him #1? Was Keith #1?
No.
Is it my imagination, or are there not two other guys holding belts out there that Sebastian hasn't fought? One of which he surrendered his belt to, in Xander Zayas. He's unified champion. Not Sebastian.
Is it my imagination, or was it the Brit that fought the boogeyman from Russia? Wasn't it Josh Kelly that beat Bakram Murtazaliev? Not Sebastian.
So how could Sebastian be #1 over them? For beating a 37-year-old Keith Thurman? Or a nobody in Cordell Booker? Maybe you got your prediction wrong. Maybe you backed Keith Thurman due to sentimentality and Sebastian proved you wrong. But that don't make him #1.
No, sir.
That just means you don't know the ball from the bounce. And Sebastian, there's more work needs doing because the rules didn't change overnight. They don't change for you. You want to prove you're #1 like you're saying, you got to take on the other guys.
That's Virgil Ortiz. That's Boots Ennis. That's Xander Zayas. That's Josh Kelly.
It's the way it is and the way it's always been. You got to do it junior middle. What Jermel Charlo did before you, what Usyk did at cruiser, and Inoue did at bantam and super bantam, what Crawford did at super light, welter,
And super middle.
didn't all of a sudden change because a few people got excited that you beat an over-the-hill Keith Thurman, who I said you were going to beat anyway.
Am I impressed?
Not really. I was mildly entertained, but impressed is something else entirely. Fighting a fighter like that under those circumstances, the least you can do is stop him. The very least. So your adjustments aren't good enough. That you can beat a 37-year-old welterweight who's had a grand total of 1 fight at junior middle. Congratulations.
That fight was a year ago.
Samson Lukowicz and the event coordinators are little more than used car salesmen who think that Keith Thurman is still somehow relevant in 2026, that beating him at 154 should matter.
It doesn't.
They'll say, nobody's ever done that to Keith Thurman before. And I'll say, well, how many 154s has he fought before? Because it seems like as soon as he did, he got exposed.
Fundora ain't #1. Maybe he's top 10 in the division. Maybe even top 5. But #1?
Fuck no.
If he wants to really prove that he's #1, stick around junior middle long enough to fight the winner of Boots versus Zayas. Then circle back for Josh Kelly to get that last brass ring. Prove that you can beat them, and that'll prove you're #1. Until then, you're just another guy. Just another guy with a belt.
Just another PBC fighter that beat another PBC fighter.
That isn't saying much because I don't think much of the PBC or their fighters.
I don't trust those optics in the least bit, or value the name of Keith Thurman in 2026. Are you fucking kidding me? The inconvenient truth. Virgil Ortiz, a Charles Conwell, even an Abbas Baru would have brutalized the Keith Thurman that Sebastian fought yesterday. Oh yes!
Boots would have sent him to the moon.
7 years of inactivity in the last decade, and you people are still pretending that he's an elite fighter? What drugs are you on?